It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. We take your emails as well. I try to read and respond to everyone at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. Well, one of the things that I like to use on this platform is give a voice to make sure that you are the last person that ever gets scammed in the state of California. Because if you've seen how many wrong numbers, spam risk, random people try to call your phone every single day, the random people texting you, messaging you, email you, luckily so much of that goes to spam, it almost seems like you are more likely to have someone trying to scam you call you than a friend. Because most people realize that we all want to be left alone and just send me the occasional text or the thumbs up to a text I sent you a couple days ago. So our duty here on the News Blitz is to always inform you of the latest scam to make sure that you do not get scammed. Make sure you don't fall for it. Make sure you don't give away your life savings and end up in tax debt, which is what happened to a man in Concord, and this is truly scary. But let me open up the phones right now as I tell you this story. If someone has recently tried to scam you over the phone, over email, tell me what the scam was. I'm going to assume you didn't fall for it, but even if you did, there's no shame here because these people use really, really, really good tactics to make you believe what they're saying. So if someone has tried to scam you lately, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. What do you do when someone's trying to scam you? Do you just hang up? Do you try to play along or screw with them? Give me a call, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to what happened to a man in Concord. Hopefully it'll never happen to you. Let's go to KGO.
A Concord man who once professionally helped people with security became the victim of a scam himself.
Yeah, not only did he lose his life savings, he also now owes more than $30,000 in taxes as a result of the scam. It's
Holy cow, how did this happen? How do you not only lose everything you have, but go into debt because somebody ripped you off? Let's find out.
It seems unbelievable.
Just terrible. I-Team reporter Melanie Woodrow has this special 7 on Your Side investigation.
Kristen and Larry, the perpetrators in this example took advantage of this victim's sense of right and wrong. They convinced him that he had done something illegal.
And of course, you know, they tend to go after the elderly, the parents of adult children who maybe don't hear from their relatives as much as they'd like, so they'll talk to anybody on the phone. And then you, as the kid of the elderly parent, have to untangle the web. And it can be real scary because, you know, that's inheritance that they're playing around with right there. That's the money that the parents were supposed to leave to the kids, to the grandkids. So if you or a family member has recently had to deal with some kind of scam, I'd like to hear from you at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. We'll play you this guy's story, see if it sounds familiar.
They had lots of proof. They told him that they were federal law enforcement officers and at one point even involved unsuspecting couriers who may have been rideshare drivers as part of the scam. It all fell apart when a CVS employee more than 400 miles away in Huntington Beach, California, had a feeling something wasn't right.
Hi, is it Chester?
Yes.
Hi, Chester. It's Officer Matthews with Concord Police Department.
Yes.
On March 27th, Concord police showed up at Chester Freilich's home.
And they say, you've been scammed.
Freilich says it all began earlier that.
Okay, it's not good if a moment he realized it was when the police knocked on his door. But again, I feel for this guy. This guy is the victim in here. But we want to give awareness to the story to make sure this doesn't happen to any of you. I don't want you losing your life savings.
Freilich says it all began earlier that month with someone claiming to be from Xfinity. According to a police report he later filed, Freilich told investigators Xfinity told him someone used his personal information to upload videos to a pornographic website.
Okay, I don't think this actually ever happens. I don't know if I've ever heard of a case of mistaken uploaded illegal pornography. So your first red flag, and this is why we do this as a public awareness, if somebody claims that your identity was stolen and they used it to upload some kind of illegal porn on the website, you can stop right there. That's not a thing. It does not happen. The feds are not going to go after you. And if they were going to go after you, they're not going after you with a phone call or an email. They'll show up in person like your Shang Tao.
Someone used his personal information to upload videos to a pornographic website, and that they were generating a report to the Federal Trade Commission.
And about an hour later, I get a call from this man.
But again, it's understandable why people be like, oh, okay. You get a notification every week about how some big company got compromised and they have all your data. And so the personal information of anyone who was at Equifax, well, they've been taken out. That's everybody who has credit. The personal information of everyone at Target. I'm sure Xfinity's been hit too. So yes, your information is out there. But even then, they might use that to open up a credit card in your name, maybe apply for a loan. But they're not going to use your name and email address to upload some illegal pornography. It's not a thing.
And about an hour later, I get a call from this man called Jason Brown from the FTC. And he informs me that I'm under investigation for wire fraud. And he lists all the credit cards I've had.
Okay, now, number two, I don't think the FTC is ever going to call somebody at home on pretty much anything. I mean, look how slow they are to move to just figure out if Kroger's been price gouging so they had enough money to buy Albertsons.
Credit cards I've had in 40 years.
Freilich says Agent Brown also told him someone rented an apartment in Texas in his name, and that the FTC didn't believe he'd made those transactions. To help him, they would move all his money to a secure account.
Now, what you can do in a situation like this, if somebody calls you saying your identity's been compromised, you've been hacked, the first thing you can do is say, great, I'm going to call my creditors and find out. You know, every single credit card and banking app now has a credit report, has somebody that you can talk to, but end that conversation, even if it is legit, so you can call somebody that you may trust a little better. Or, you know, talk to your banker. But the number one thing that you got to do, and the number one thing these scammers try to do to you, is they don't want you to ask questions and they don't want you to talk to anybody. Because even if you rationally talk this with a family member or a friend, you might realize, okay, this is absolute BS. But if they can scare you into believing that you can't talk to anybody about this because you're about to go to prison for whatever pornography you uploaded to the internet, well, fear can motivate you to do some fairly foolish things. That is why we're sharing the story, not to shame this man, but as a public awareness. I mean, he brought his story to the local news. We're here to bring it to you because I don't want this happening to you.
Freilich says Agent Brown also told him someone rented an apartment in Texas in his name, and that the FTC didn't believe he'd made those transactions. To help him, they would move all his money to a secure account.
And the scam continues. After a couple of days, they have me withdraw more money. And this goes on about 5 times.
Freilich received a letter he believed was from the Department of the Treasury confirming the plan to clear his name. He put large amounts of cash and gold in boxes picked up by couriers who supplied a password he'd been given.
Okay, every single part of this is now got to be suspect. Even if a federal agent was saying, we're going to fix your credit, we're going to make sure that none of your money is going to be used for fraudulent purchases, I don't think anyone would ever ask you to liquidate all your assets and then send it in boxes. Don't worry, we'll have somebody pick up the cash and the gold. Oh, this poor guy. And by the way, understandable, you know, people are scared. They're motivated to protect themselves, to protect the family. You'll do anything. But shouldn't there be some guardrails if you're all of a sudden trying to liquidate your bank account, get all your hands on whatever gold you have in person, and close down some of your retirement accounts? There's got to be somebody say, are you sure you want to be doing this? And wouldn't any of those people also be aware that you've been hacked?
This goes on about 5 times.
Freilich received a letter he believed was from the Department of the Treasury confirming the plan to clear his name. He put large amounts of cash and gold in boxes picked up by couriers who supplied a password he'd been given. Concord PD believes the couriers may have been rideshare drivers.
It doesn't appear.
Now, so is this like an Uber Eats thing? Or I know on DoorDash you can do courier jobs. Did they even know what they were transporting? Because if they did, they could have taken quite a cut. It's a big difference between being a DoorDash driver taking a couple of fries out of the bag and being a DoorDash driver who realizes they're transporting a whole bunch of ill-begotten cash and they can skim a little off the top. Not saying that they would do that. Maybe they had no idea what they were transporting. And like good couriers, they didn't ask. But oh boy, this poor guy.
It doesn't appear in most of the cases that the couriers are involved. They're somewhat unknowing participants.
He continued receiving letters confirming the transactions until one day he was told there was no courier in his area and that he'd have to mail $8,500 in cash in a box to Huntington Beach via UPS.
So I do.
Every single part of this is suspect, which tells you this guy was so afraid that logic doesn't even work anymore. They had convinced him because they got his credit report from one of these leaks from one of these companies and told him about 40 credit cards that he had in the past.
So I do that. And that's when I find out somebody's knocking at my door, and it's the police department from Concord.
So I just had a couple of questions about a package situation that had everybody kind of confused, and hopefully we can get it all sorted out.
Okay.
It turns out
Wow, Concord police is so nice. I mean, they probably don't see a lot of stuff.
UPS delivered the package to a Huntington Beach CVS, where Concord PD says two people showed up to pick it up with photos of an ID.
These scams are so intricate, which means they definitely and worked on this guy. And I'm sure for, like in sales, for every 100 no's, you get a yes. In scamming, for every 1,000 no's, you get a yes. But once you get a yes, once you get a bite, you can bilk them out of tens of thousands up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Unbelievable.
Rather than an actual ID.
I think it rang enough bells for the employee to deny the package.
Unfortunately, even with both Huntington...
Yeah, good for the employee at the CVS who was in possession of this UPS box full of cash and gold. They did not turn it over to somebody who used a picture of an ID as ID. Oh, my goodness.
Unfortunately, even with both Huntington Beach police and Concord police involved, Freilich didn't get the $8,500 back. That final package is now missing.
I lost the $8,500, plus all my life savings.
In total, nearly $200,000.
Holy cow. I feel so bad for this guy.
In total, nearly $200,000.
They were able to get into my computer. They knew everything about me.
Having that information is somewhat mission critical for them to be able to convince someone that they are legitimate.
On top of his loss, Freilich says because he cashed out CDs and an IRA, he anticipates owing more than $30,000 in taxes. The IRA...
Oh, gosh. Talk about adding insult to injury. So your entire life savings wiped out, all your cash, all your gold. You closed your retirement accounts and gave that money away to the scammers. Couldn't get any of it back. And now because you closed your retirement accounts, you got to pay taxes on those. Maybe we could give this guy at least a little break for that, IRS. Oh, boy.
On top of his loss, Freilich says because he cashed out CDs and an IRA, he anticipates owing more than $30,000 in taxes. The IRS told him if he can't pay it off, they'll put a lien on his house.
It's frustrating for them and it's frustrating for us because it just doesn't seem to stop. It's one problem after another, after another, after another.
The last thing in the world I want to do is be out on the street.
Freilich says he believes his biggest error was panicking. He says once he did, he was not thinking properly. Concord PD says that no legitimate law enforcement agency will ever discourage someone from verifying their identity. The scammers in this case had the victim sign a non-disclosure agreement so that he would...
Oh, how can that hold up in court?
Victim sign a non-disclosure agreement so that he wouldn't talk to other people about what was going on, wouldn't contact his local police department. Of course, they say that they will never do that if you're in trouble with the law. And really, they're focusing on educating the public so that somebody else isn't victimized like this.
A really elaborate scam.
Yeah.
But it worked. It worked on this guy for $200,000. These people will try nonstop. They've got robocalling, so it's maybe someone will pick up. They will send out these text messages. I get these text messages all the time. I don't answer a text message from anybody I don't know, because why would anybody who doesn't know me not have my contact information? But what did I get the other day? I get a random text message from U.S. Customs. You have a USPS parcel being cleared due to the detection of an invalid zip code. The parcel cannot be cleared. The parcel is detained. Please confirm your zip code and use this link that's totally not suspicious. Because you know how the post office's website is us-USPS-Quiniba.top? It's not. I'm not replying to that. I'm not going to that link. That is some straight up phishing, and that happens all the time.
Elaborate scam.
Yeah, and I've heard before from the BBB, totally separate agency, of course, but say, take a beat. When something doesn't seem, just whatever it is that you want to jump and rush to and fix it, take a beat.
Yeah,
he
was really concerned. They told him he was breaking the law, or somebody posing as him was breaking the law, and so they were appealing to his sense of right and wrong.
We get it.
And nowadays there's so much of our personal information that's available and the online that people can manipulate you. So just beware. Thank you.
Thanks for this.
That's what we're doing here. We're spreading awareness. The latest scam, to recap, this retiree up in Concord had someone say from Xfinity, the cable provider, that your information got out, and someone used your email address to upload some porn. And the FTC is now aware of it, and we know that your accounts are all compromised. So we're going to need you to close all your accounts, put them in bankers' boxes, and we'll have a courier take all your money to a secure location, including shipping one of them yourself, because we couldn't get any Uber drivers that day, to Huntington Beach. This guy's up in Northern California. And he closed his retirement accounts. He cleared out his life savings. Now he owes $30,000 in taxes and is flat broke. Unreal, unbelievable. But this is the kind of crap that happens out there all the time. And unfortunately, every once in a while, somebody is going to get caught up in it. So I'd love to talk to you at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. If you or a family member has recently had somebody try to scam you, whether it was through a text, an email, a phone call, let me know the story. Let's make more people aware of what is out there so we can all be a little more sharp and realize that nobody legitimately is trying to contact you about anything. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Has someone tried to scam you or your family members lately? 800-222-KABC. Let's start with Dave in Fullerton. Dave, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing great.
Good. So I'm a financial advisor, and this was interesting. Got a call from a client, and he had got an email from PayPal saying that he owed them some money. I think he owed them $90, they said, and he needed to call an 800 number. So he called the number, and so obviously they answered the phone. It turned out it was a scammer, and so it turned into a computer takeover scam where they said they were going to help him and end up wiring that money back to them out of his own bank account. And the problem is that they falsified the wire form, wired like $90,000 out of his checking account to a bank in China, and it disappeared all of a sudden. Gone. Can't get it back.
Oh my goodness. That is so awful.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. And the guy's very, very smart, wonderful guy. It's just that these scammers can say stuff to you that break through all the filters. It lets down your guard, and all of a sudden the money's gone. And when there's wires, right, they're going to skip from China to wherever, and you're never going to get the money back.
I mean, yeah, your information is available on the dark web, so they can find enough pressure points to make you think that they're a legit person that knows what they're talking about, because, of course, they have all your information. You have other scams where you have people using AI to recreate the voice of what could be one of your relatives that somehow has a DUI, and they need you to wire $10,000. It's unbelievable what is out there.
We get those all the time too, right? The point would be make sure you don't let anyone have you download software to take over your own computer, because that turns into basically an authorized wire, because he gave them the bank account information and they sent it from his computer. So you cannot download software like that. It's a bad deal.
That is some great advice. Dave, thanks so much for sharing the story with us. We appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. Every quarter, we tend to do a story like this where There are just brand new scams going out all the time. They're going after you. They're going after your parents. They're going after your relatives. If someone has tried to scam you or your parents recently, give me a call at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. You call us, it won't be a scam. But whether it's through the phone, through the email, through trying to get you to download something on your computer, tell me what they're trying to make you do at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. I want to know what scams are out there so the public will hear about them. And then the next time you get some strange call, you're like, wait, I've heard this before. Good luck with the next one, buddy. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Has someone tried to scam you or a family member lately? Let me know all about it. 800-222-KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. We take your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. A Concord man was scammed out of his entire life savings and now owes the IRS $30,000 after scammers said that his identity was hacked to put illegal porno on a website and rent an apartment in Texas, and that he needed to close all of his accounts and start putting money and gold in bankers' boxes, and couriers would pick them up, and one of them he had to ship himself to Huntington Beach before Concord PD found out what was going on. It's an elaborate scam, but these things happen all the time. I want to know about more scams that are out there so we can educate the public. If you or your family member has had someone try to scam them recently, tell me all about it at 800-222-KABC. Let's start with Terry and San Dimas. Terry, hello.
Hey, Randy. Recently my wife and I, we bought a timeshare, and that's not the scam. It was a legitimate thing and seemed like a good investment for us. And about 2 months after we bought it, I had somebody call me up and tell me that, if you haven't used your points yet, there's people that want to buy your points. And I didn't get so far into the scam to find out what they, were going to ask from me, but I'm guessing they wanted to ask me to, first you buy the points, and then we'll take the points and give you, in the scam of giving me money that somebody else was buying my timeshare points. So I called
that doesn't sound legit at all.
Company. Yeah, I called the timeshare company and said, "Is this a thing?" As soon as I mentioned it, she goes, "It's a scam. It's a scam." And they've called me a couple more times, and every time they call, I say, "Yeah, I hear there's a scam." "Oh, no, it's not. No, I hear there's a scam," and they hang up on me and move on.
Oh wow! So they just keep coming.
Yeah, they don't stop. And I heard John talking about getting scam calls, and I just always blocked. I just go in and block the number, and I really don't get that many anymore. So I don't know if that's it. But, yeah, so just if people buy timeshares, and there's somebody trying to call you up and say, hey, we want to buy your points from you, and we'll give you some money, it's a scam. They're trying to get you information.
I really appreciate you notifying everyone about that one. Enjoy your timeshare, buddy. I'm glad that that's working out for you. Thanks so much for the call, Terry. And that's the thing. You get a call from anyone that says they're associated with some vacation club, timeshare, Hilton Honors, whatever it is. Hang up, call the actual company. They'll tell you if it's a scam or not. Great advice out there. 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Ingrid in Sylmar. Ingrid, hello.
Hello. I love your show, by the way. My mom,
Thank you.
They old people have a landline, and they called her on the landline. And they said that her grandson was in jail and that she needed to go to Target and get a $2,000 gift card and then call them with the numbers. And she didn't even, we live locally. She didn't check with any of the kids to see if any grandkids were in jail or nothing. And they did this twice to her. They called back again, and she went to Target again and got another $2,000 gift card and then gave it to them. So I don't know what they do, but they convince them, and they make them afraid so they don't ask anybody. But afterwards, she felt really stupid, but she was out, and we tried to go to Target and cancel the card, and they said no. They they clear those things instantly. And I think it was done over a holiday weekend, too.
Unbelievable. How dare they? And they went after her twice. Well, I guess they thought it would work. I got to tell you what you and your mom got to do. You got to watch this movie. It came out this year called Thelma. It is literally about this, where a 94-year-old grandmother gets scammed with that exact same scam, and she goes on a revenge spree to get her money back.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll check it out on the internet.
All right, Ingrid, thanks so much for sharing your story. I appreciate it. I hear that one all the time, where whether they're using AI or someone, the connection's not that clear, and they're like, hey, it's your grandson. Not, hey, it's Neil. No, hey, it's your grandson. Hey, it's your nephew. I got into an accident, and we need $10,000 right now, but don't call the police station. I mean, and the thing is, your heart's pouring out if you think that your grandchild is in some bad accident. But these people, they really know how to tug at the heartstrings to bleed you full of everything you got. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Phil in Carson. Phil, hello.
Hey, Randy. So I get a call. The guy says he's from the FBI, and there's a warrant out for my wife's arrest. I told him, yeah, go ahead, arrest her. I told him, I said, oh, this isn't a joke. You have to give us a credit card number right away. Otherwise, we're going to send an agent out there to arrest her. I said, you want me to give you the address and the suite number where she works? And they kept calling and calling. They've called me back 5 times, wanting me to send them money. They said, they go, we have your credit card account number. I said, well, if you have my account number, you'll also know that I only have a $500 limit. Where are you going to get $10,000 out of me?
And they just keep trying every single time.
Kept trying, and I heard that other woman, what she said about they call saying that they're a grandson. That happened to my mother, except my mother said, I don't care. She goes, he doesn't call me anyway, so I don't care if he rots in jail.
Now, that is a great attitude. It seems like you and your mother are a little too sharp for this nonsense.
Yeah. Actually, I think she was more serious about it than I was.
That's great. I love the story. Thanks so much for the call, Phil. Appreciate it. Like when you can have fun with them. Hey, we're going to go after your wife. Take her. Let's go to Peter in Irvine. Peter, hello.
Hello, Randy. Hi. My story involves a bank. Do I not name the bank, or is that all right?
Oh, you can totally name the bank.
Okay. My wife keeps getting. Initially, it's usually a text that says, "Did you authorize this wire to South Africa for $559?" And when they, the shock value of that gets your adrenaline going. And then they go from there, and they try and get you to give them your password, log on and password to your bank website. And, if you give them that, they've got you. They can do whatever they want. They're in your bank account. And this keeps happening. Even though we got over the first hurdle when this happened the first time, they keep trying again. And the really killer is that they come in spoofing the caller ID to say the name of the bank. It says Ally Bank on the phone, but it isn't. And they keep trying now. Every week or two, she'll get another one. So that's the story.
Wow, it's so ridiculous. But you did the right thing by realizing what it was, because if it was really the bank calling you, they have your account number and password. They wouldn't need this. Peter, thanks so much for sharing your story. I appreciate it. It's just, we're outgunned and we're outmanned because These scammers can put bots that will call you constantly, send nonstop amount of texts. They can change what the phone number looks like. I mean, I can't tell you how many calls I get from the 818 area code. And I don't know any of these people because they're all scams. And so I don't pick up. If it's a local number, I'm more suspicious of that than when I'm getting some calls from Mississippi. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. If you or your family member has had someone try to scam you recently, tell me all about it. 800-222-KABC. We'll take more of your calls coming up next. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Oh, does that mean I don't work on Monday? Oh, that's fun. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Jeff and Brea. Jeff, hello.
How you doing?
Doing great.
Hello. Yeah. So
hey, Jeff.
I got an email about a month ago from a anonymous source saying we hacked your phone and we know the websites that you go to, like Pornhub and things like those, and we have control of your camera, and we turn it on and videotape you, and if you don't send us like 10,000 in crypto, we're going to send it to all your people in your contacts list.
Holy cow, that is quite the threat.
Yeah. Fortunately, I'm the only person in the world that doesn't go to those sites or do that, so I didn't feel too threatened, but yeah.
Well, good on you, Jeff. Thanks so much for sharing your story. Oh, my goodness. We've been videotaping what you do in front of that laptop, and we're going to send it to everybody. Well, I hope they enjoy a good show. Let's go to Rebecca in L.A. Rebecca, hello.
Hi. Hi, love the show. I've been getting over the probably the last several months, 6 months at least 3-4 times a week on my email, your purchase order has been confirmed. We need more information. And I'm getting a lot from Amazon and some generic ones I've never even heard of about purchase orders. So I don't even do online. So I know it's a scam. So I don't even open them. I just delete them. And it's just annoying. But my main question is, here I do all this Norton virus, antivirus, and Experion, all this stuff, and I'm paying hundreds of dollars a month for protection. However, why isn't Google and Microsoft Bing and AT&T, all these people that allow these emails to get into your email, why can't they put mechanisms in place or help the people that are victims? They make millions, billions of dollars, and they should be helping these poor victims because, especially for seniors. I mean, they're the ones that I feel really bad for, because they have no idea. This is new to them, or, they don't have that much experience with it. But yet, why can't they pay? They have billions of dollars to help people of identity theft, this dark web surveillance. I get a lot of those alerts. You're getting dark web alerts. So I'm just like, why can't they pitch in? Why can't they help out? And
I think you're so right.
Make it safer.
Rebecca, I think you are totally right about that, because any website, any carrier that their platform is being used for criminal activity, and they're making billions and billions and billions of dollars off of it, whether it's Amazon with the sale of stolen goods, whether it's Google when they know scam emails are going into your inbox, or whether it's the phone carrier who the text messages have to go through somebody. They've got to be a way to know what's going on, and they should do something to help out the people that get scammed on their platforms.
Exactly. That's what I've always been thinking, and I'm so glad you had this segment. Now it's off of my mind, and I don't have to think about it anymore. But it's just, isn't that true, though? My sister was a victim of identity theft. It took her 5 years to clear her Social Security number. 5 years of her working on it. Nobody would help her.
Unbelievable. We've got to make this easier, because it's happening more and more. And it's only going to, with AI, this is only going to happen more and more and more.
Exactly.
Rebecca, thanks so much for the call. Really appreciate talking to you. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang. Oh, I just got a call from Newport Beach. So that's either a scam or somebody doesn't know that I do a show from 5 to 6. Could be somebody I actually know that forgot I'm on the radio. That happens all the time, even to people in sales. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's go to Jonathan in LA. Jonathan, hello.
Hey, how you doing today, sir?
Doing great.
All right. A few months back, I received a telephone call from a gentleman who stated that my daughter was in a car accident in Houston. Anyway, she does live in Houston, and I was very surprised. And he wanted me to wire money to get her bail. And I said, oh, really? So what I asked him was that, okay, let me speak to the watch commander. And he got very, very nervous. So he put me on hold. As he placed me on hold, I called my daughter. And come to find out, my daughter's sitting at home watching TV.
That's great.
So once I got him back on the phone, he said, well, here's the number that you need to contact. I said, oh, really? I said, first of all, that's not how they do things. Him not realizing that I used to be a security contractor. I worked with the Secret Service, and I post-mandated in Georgia. So law enforcement is something I know very well.
Well, it sounds like he knew not to mess with you, Jonathan. Thank you so much for the call. We appreciate it. We're running out of time. And what do you know? Penny emails. She's got another one of these. She know an old woman that got scammed out of $5,000. Someone called her saying it was the grandson stuck in Mexico. Don't tell my parents. Thanks so much for the calls, everyone. We informed the public. We'll see you tomorrow for another News Blitz at 5 right here on KABC.